I want to take this time to thank you all for showing up for this first book signing. It's been a labor of love, but it's been mostly love. I started this whole process. Actually, my son started this process. He looked at me and he says, "Dad, I can't believe you've been doing this for 40 years." And I don't think it registered to me at the time what he said, but it had been 40 years. And I was sitting down going, wow, you know, I've been to all these museums, I've been to galleries, I've been to bookstores. 40 years, that's kind of a landmark. Not many people I know have done something like this for 40 years.
Well, I think his story is one that young artists can relate to. The way he came up, what he started doing with some of the commercial art, what he got from his father, and the fact that he's come up through the system. And so when you look at the book and you look at the body of work, which a lot of artists may or may not do, but when you look at the body of work over so many years, it's just incredible. And so a young artist looking at that to say, and reading the story, not just looking at the artwork, but reading his journey, to me it would be inspiring.
But I wanted to at least create something that they could see a part of themselves in. And so this book has about 305 images in it. Keep in mind, I had to cut 100 images just for this book. This book is just of my published works. I'm working on my second book now of my original works that many of you probably have never seen before.
It's just a beautifully well-presented piece. Of course, this work is just amazing, stylistic, colorful, just amazing work. But it just gives you a guideline and also gives you that motivation because you see the presentation of his work and how much work he's created. You know, he pushes the margin on what he presents. He represents us, tells our stories. It's just a beautiful work.
I always wanted to depict some things that were non-typical subjects for us to be seen in. When I first started in this market, it was a lot of, Southern churches, and it was slave scenes, cotton scenes, and all of a sudden I started doing dance, and the artists started doing other stuff, and they felt comfortable doing all these other things, and it just was a major explosion that you guys are still participating in today. And I do think that that movement that went uncharted from 1985 to 2005 is the reason why a lot of the arts is flourishing right now, even today.
It's inspirational, and it's such a collection of amazing work over many years, and I like to see that transformation. Poncho's work has been, from college days right up till now, almost like, this is part of the culture, right? Oh, I know that picture. That's what we had that hanging up in the dorm room, right? It tells a story, and for an artist like me who's experimenting with different mediums and, you know, the business side of it, Poncho is a beast. So just talking to him, but also then seeing the product, it's been, all I can say is very inspirational, very powerful.
I think for me, the most important part of this process is each one of you in here have a story. It has all the elements. It has comedy, it has drama, it has trauma, it has everything. And we have to value our own stories, but more or less we have to share our stories.
When it comes to being a business person, marketing, getting your art out, and Poncho did that since jump. You know, he came out of school, he came out moving, knowing that what he does is something good, that he could make a living from it, and he did that immediately.
It does tell you all the art experiences I've had from when I started up to the current time. And so I did that kind of as a love letter to my artist colleagues, because we've had so many discussions over the decades about the different journeys we've gone on. And unfortunately, nobody's documenting their story. And so I knew that it was within my capacity to do something like that, to sit down and just tell my story.
Larry, he did what he wanted to do, and he made a success of it. So I've always followed his art, and I've always wondered when he would put his own publication out. So when I saw on Facebook that he was about to do that, I was happy. I said, it's about time you did that.
I think there's so many lessons learned. I think he is a phenomenal teacher. I think he's a sage in this business. I think he has the respect of a number of contemporaries and emerging artists. And I know that he is an educator. He's educated me on the various facets of African American art. He's an artist, but he's also a collector. So, there are so many dimensions to him that I think it would serve any emerging artist or anyone interested in becoming an artist to get to know him and learn from him.